guys, welcome back to my channel Medic the Budding Doctor. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about fetal circulation. So let's start. In this video, I'm going to explain you this topic under four headings. The first one being normal fetal circulation, prenatal to postnatal circulatory changes, components of postnatal circulation, and clinical conditions associated with this topic. First is normal fetal circulation. Here I am going to explain you with the help of this diagram normal fetal circulation and also explain you or tell you about oxygen saturation of the blood at various points of mixing. So this is a representation of internal organs of the fetus, and the fetus is connected to the mother and dependent on the mother for the blood to be oxygenated, as the fetus can't take breath inside the womb. So the lungs aren't functional and collapsed solid structure which provide high vascular resistance. The fetus is connected to the mother through placenta, and the placenta is connected to the fetus through umbilical cord. The umbilical cord contains two umbilical arteries and a single functional umbilical vein. Initially there were two umbilical veins, out of which the right one degenerated and only left one is left during the fetal life. So the umbilical vein carries 80% oxygen saturated blood which enters the fetus, and first it gives branch to supply the left two-third of the liver. The right one-third of the liver is supplied by the portal vein. The portal vein here also gives a branch known as portal sinus which joins the umbilical vein to form ductus venosus, which act as a shunt from umbilical vein to inferior vena cava as it joins inferior vena cava. The portal venous blood is 27% saturated with oxygen. The ductus venosus runs on the undersurface of the liver to join the inferior vena cava at its junction with the hepatic veins. As a result, the admixture of blood from umbilical vein, which is 80% saturated with oxygen, with the hepatic and systemic blood vessels, which carry 26% oxygen saturated blood. The blood in the thoracic inferior vena cava becomes 67% saturated with oxygen, air, and then this inferior vena cava joins the right atrium, where superior vena cava joins as well. Most of this blood reaching through inferior vena cava passes through the foramen ovale, which is a gap in the interatrial septum, and reaches the left atrium, where it is joined by the blood coming from the pulmonary vein, which is 42%. This is the pulmonary vein, which is the blue one, which carries blood which is 42% saturated with oxygen, and then passes on to the left ventricle, where the final oxygen saturation of blood is 62%, and this blood then goes to aorta to be supplied to the body. Now some of the blood which remained in the right atrium after coming from inferior vena cava, and all of the blood coming from superior vena cava mixes here and enters the right ventricle, where this blood is 52% saturated with oxygen, and the blood from the superior vena cava was 25% saturated with oxygen. Now this blood entering the right ventricle enters pulmonary artery, where in normal adult human being it supplies only the lung, but in the fetus, as the blood has to be directly given to the aorta, as it can't be given much to the lungs, as they offer high resistance and aren't functional. So it bypasses the pulmonary artery to aorta. This is the third shunt present in the fetus. The second shunt present in the fetus was foramen ovale, and the first shunt was ductus venosus. In the next slide, we are also going to discuss points of mixing of blood in the fetus. So this blood, most of the blood entering the pulmonary artery, which is 80% of the right ventricular output, goes to the ductus venosus, and only 20% goes to the lungs to supply oxygen to the lungs. And the deoxygenated blood, relatively deoxygenated blood coming from the lungs after usage of oxygen, comes to the left atrium. Only in fetus. One thing we have to remember here is the before joining of the ductus venosus, the aorta gives two branches which supply the brain and coronary vessels, coronary artery. So there is no need to worry, as these two organs do need high amount of oxygen, so they have been supplied a branch before joining of ductus venosus, which carries relatively deoxygenated blood, and now this mixed blood goes to body to be supplied, and then it forms hypogastric arteries, which are a continuation of internal iliac arteries. And when these hypogastric arteries, which carry 58% oxygen saturated blood, enter the umbilical cord, they are known as umbilical arteries, and they bring back deoxygenated blood from the fetus to the placenta to be oxygenated again. Now we are going to discuss points of mixing of arterial and venous blood. In the fetus, there are 5 points of mixing of arterial and venous blood. The first one is liver. When the oxygenated blood coming from umbilical vein joins with the portal sinus of the liver, it is the first point of mixing. The second point of mixing is inferior vena cava, where the systemic and hepatic arteries join. Also oxygenated blood from ductus venosus joins. So this is the second point of mixing. The third point of mixing is right atrium, where deoxygenated blood from superior vena cava and oxygenated blood from inferior vena cava mixes. The fourth point of mixing is left atrium, where deoxygenated blood coming from pulmonary vein and oxygenated blood from foramen ovale mixes. The fifth point of mixing of blood is ductus arteriosus. This is ductus arteriosus. It has been marked. See, here the pulmonary artery and aorta joins. So this is the fifth point of mixing of blood. Now we are going to talk about characteristics of fetal circulation. In the fetus, as pulmonary artery joins the aorta, therefore the two ventricles work in parallel, not in series, which is the normal condition, which is the normal physiology in the adult or after a child is born. The both the ventricles work in series, but here the ventricles work in parallel to drive the blood from the great vessels into the arteries. The left ventricle ejects 20% more blood per minute than the right ventricle, as there is shunting present through foramen ovale. During fetal life, the lungs are mainly non-functional and the liver is only partly functional. Therefore, fetal heart need not pump much blood through either lungs or liver, but it pumps large quantities of blood through placenta, which is approximately 55% of the total blood pumped by the heart. Therefore, immediate circulatory adjustments required by the infant is to allow adequate blood flow through the liver and